Good morning. Every year I try to do an assessment on how I think the Hurricanes are going to do in the upcoming season. And then I go back at the end of the season, look to see how close my prediction was. This year I decided to do that assessment on video. Now there are a lot of experts that are predicting the Hurricanes not to make the playoffs. I am going to predict that they will make the playoffs this year. And if there are the usual amount of upsets, maybe they might be able to go pretty far. Here is the reason for my assessment. Let's look back at the team since Kirk Muller has been appointed coach. 2 seasons ago, Kirk Muller took over partway into the season, and the team did fairly well underneath him. But Muller did not have a training camp that year. He took over mid-season, so it was kind of like he was taking over on the fly and trying to correct things. Last season, you had a lockout. Once again, there was no training camp. This season, there is a training camp. And he gets to get all these players in here, and he'll be able to assess what he needs to do. And during the training camp and the preseason, I think he'll get things going pretty good. Number 2 reason, Elias Lindholm. If you watched some of the videos of this guy from when he was in Sweden, he has the potential to become the next Peter Forsberg. Add that to Alexander Semin and Eric Stahl and Jordan Stahl and Jeff Skinner and Yuri Tolusti and Tuomo Ruutu. You have a pretty good offensive team. The defense is going to be better. Yes, we still have Joni Petkinen. But Petkinen has not played as bad as some of the other defensemen who are no longer on the team. We brought in some new guys, like Andrej Sekera. He's going to eat up some minutes. And there are other new guys that were also brought in. Number 3, the competition. A lot of people seem to think the Hurricanes are going to do poorly because they're in this newly formed Metropolitan Division. If you look at the records that the Hurricanes have had over the past few years, and remember, there were injuries, especially last year, the Hurricanes have done well against 4 out of the 5 teams in what used to be the Atlantic Division. The one team they struggled against was Philadelphia. Remember February 28th last year, the 4-1 win over Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh's a pretty decent team. And with the new players, with the training camp, I just think it's going to be good. The next reason is a lot of the Hurricanes' tough games come in October. So if they win those tough games, it's going to be pretty much easy sailing after that. We're opening against Detroit at home. And then we got Philadelphia at home. And then I think we go to Pittsburgh and Washington. And then somewhere in there we got the LA Kings and Chicago at home. Once we get past those teams, and I don't think it's going to be a loss to every one of those teams, I think the first 6 games we're going to come out 4-2. But I think the Hurricanes, for a lot of these reasons, are going to have a good team. Anton Khudobin as the backup goalie. That was huge. Because the games that you now rest Cam Ward, Khudobin plays, and he's going to play a lot better than Justin Peters played, than Dan Ellis played, that Brian Boucher played a couple of years ago. Khudobin eventually wants to become a starting goalie. Will he be the starter this year? I don't think so. But if there were to be an injury, Khudobin is going to be a lot better than what we had before. And he's going to be a lot better in just the games that Cam Ward doesn't play. How is Cam Ward going to be coming off his injury? Well, look at the Olympics. It's a real toss-up of who the Canadian goalie is going to be. Cam Ward is in the mix, and I think he is trained appropriately, so he will make that Olympic team. Well, before he even gets to the Olympics, he's got October, November, December, January playing in Carolina. That's pretty good. I think the Hurricanes are going to be real good. Now, where do I pick them to finish? Third. I think Philadelphia is going to be first. They made a lot of good changes. Pittsburgh's goaltending is going to cause them to drop back behind Philadelphia. But they're still a pretty strong team. So Pittsburgh is going to be second. I think the Hurricanes are going to be third. But it's going to be close. I'm picking the New York Rangers for fourth. I'm picking the Columbus Blue Jackets for fifth. Remember, they don't get Nate North until around Christmas time. The New York Islanders for sixth. The Washington Capitals for seventh. And the New Jersey Devils for eighth. Yeah, they got Jaromir Jagr. But Jagr isn't that good. At best, he's going to be as good as Kovalev was last season. And there you have it, my assessment for the 2013-14 Carolina Hurricanes. And you know, the schedule has been nice to us too. Because not only do we have the hard games right at the beginning of the season to get them out of the way, but some of the tougher teams, like Detroit, for example, I was checking, and I found out that we played Detroit twice this year, once at home and once away. Other teams that are in their division, like Philadelphia, they played Detroit 3 times. That means we play somebody else 3 times. That's a lot weaker. Thank you for allowing me to bore you. And have a great day. Bye.